Welcome back to On Point's Kentucky Derby edition. Ed DeRosa alongside Scott Shapiro. And Scott, we got a lot of preps coming up this weekend, but there was a big one this last weekend in a shakeup in both of our top tens.
Yeah, you would look at our lists and you might not even know what's going on. You might think they're for different races. We have so few things in common. I guess the one take that from this weekend's race, the Fountain of Youth, won by Code of Honor, is I believe in these horses a heck of a lot more than you do right now.
Yeah, I mean, the number didn't come back all that fast, and the horses with the two biggest numbers coming in, Hidden Scroll and Vekoma, definitely regressed off their last efforts. Vekoma off the long layoff and Hidden Scroll off just a maiden win. I'm definitely selling this race, but I know you're buying it based on Code of Honor moving all the way up to number 2.
Well, there's a couple things there, as I told you off camera. Code of Honor with the 50 points is now in the race.
Yeah,
huge advantage, so now Shug McGahee can kind of prep for the Kentucky Derby, maybe not crank his horse for the Florida Derby. And secondly, I just have not been wowed by the other races. I think numbers or not, these horses to me came in as the more talented horses. And I think at least most of them that we expected to run well were in the top few. So yes, I mean, it would be nice to see a huge figure, but there's a reason for Hidden Scroll moving back. Vekoma I thought was a little short, so I don't mind the figure as much as you. I know you have some general rules that have worked over the years in the Derby or haven't worked, but
they haven't worked in recent years.
Right, right. No, and I understand that. So, but to me, those are some of the more talented horses outside of what we have in California and a couple of wild cards. So, to me, I'm going to reward the horses that ran well, in my opinion.
Yeah, two things. I'm glad you did mention that Code of Honor is in, because the other horse who's for sure in War of Will, hasn't wowed me either, even though that's his nickname. And maybe that's a little unfair. I mean, they're winning the races, which you want to see. But, yeah, speed number-wise, they're just not, to me, where Improbable or Game Winner are. And we're going to see them face each other this weekend. And if you look at my top 10 list, you'll see a very distinct West Coast flavor. Galilean on top. The two Bafferts next, and then Instagram, who's shipping to the Gotham, which I love, by the way, the one-turn mile off the layoff. So I'm putting a lot of my eggs in the West Coast basket right now.
And it's understandable, especially with the two Bafferts. To me, Instagram isn't in my top 10, but that's just because we haven't seen him since August. He could easily be in my top 5 if he runs well in the Gotham.
And if he weren't running this weekend and training, he wouldn't be in there either. So I understand wanting to wait.
Yeah, and Joe Christofek, our colleague, has him number 1, which is very aggressive to me, but at least I understand the point is if he does move forward, he has that talent. Galilean to me, I just see too many Calbreds do this kind of thing. Smokey's Image comes to mind, a Carla Gaines trainee. You got to beat the Open Company first for me to consider that. I noticed you also had a Maryland bred in there, Always Mining.
Yeah.
Going to have to remain a little skeptical on that. And Win, who Michael Trombetta horse, I believe. I had to look him up, to be honest.
Yeah, he's running this weekend.
Is he?
He's in the Tampa Bay Derby.
Okay, Tampa Bay Derby. Yeah, it looks like a sprinter to me, so along with well-defined. So I think what our lists do show, though, is nobody's really stepped out ahead of others in the prep so far this year.
Yeah, and at this point in the season, for me, it's just all about finding horses who have run fast. Not just fast enough compared to the others, and Win got a big number. There's uphill challenges for sure, but I just think after the two Bafferts and maybe Instagram, although he still has plenty to prove too, maybe this is the year where you finally get to take a shot in the Derby.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm telegraphing more than anything with my top 10 is I can tell you this, I don't care how well he runs in the next 1 or 2 races, I'm going against the favorite. They can beat me every year. Just eventually they have to lose, right?
Yeah, I mean, there were several years where I went against them. I did include Justify and picked them for second last year. Finally, was not stubborn anymore.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. I mean, to me, I have Improbable head and shoulders above everybody else. I know some folks don't agree with that. Game Winner, I have 5th on my list. I just haven't liked as much as others what I've seen in the mornings. But that could easily change to them being 1 and 2 after
Absolutely.
Saturday.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, it is. I'm excited for the year. A lot of times we talk about weak crop or good crop or best crop. I just want them to be competitive because that's where you really have the chance if you're right in your opinion on Derby Day for the 6-figure score. And I'm just going to keep swinging.
Yeah, I'm not going to be one of those people that mocks somebody for going against the favorite if they win. I'm not a big fan. I know you're not either of a big flex after you pick the favorite. But at the same point, it's hard to go against the fact that these horses with that early tactical speed that sit perfect trips have been successful in this race over the years, and it could be that way once again.
All right, well, all things considered, I will say this to get us out. I'd much rather have a favorite win than all the rain we had last year.
Yeah, and all the rain this winter as well.
Yeah, no, good point. A lot of rain. All right, well, hopefully we'll make it rain over the coming weeks. A lot of good races coming up, including this weekend.